This is Series 1, Episode 67. The purpose of this video is to give you some insight into what I'm seeing in the markets, where I see price action, what I see with stocks in general. I won't be announcing any specific trade ideas like I usually do, but I will start with some positive news and then slowly diversify into more negative territory and show you what I'm seeing in the markets. So let me start with the positives. Upwork, UPWK is a ticker symbol. I talked about this in episode 61, and I said that this is where I wanted to get in. I did get in on this stock at around this $50 level, and I even said where I would expect to see profit taking, which was at $60, which is there. And what did it do? It went up to $60 just above and then collapsed. But look at that, guys. You see why price held? Look. Why did price stop there and collapse? Look where it stopped. Let me just draw that in. So you can learn all this yourselves and then at least make your own decisions in the future. You see that? Why did price stop there? Well, previous high. Price got to the previous high and completely collapsed. So as per episode 61, I said $60 and then I took profit, and I'm glad I did, because like the rest of the market, these growth stocks, this one collapsed. Now, if the whole market's going in one direction, then all the stocks, well, the technology stocks and the growth stocks are going to follow. Now, the other stock I talked about was NIO. That was in episode 63. When I was talking about NIO, it was at $45, around here. And I said I really like the look of this because of this cup and handle. And again, NIO, look at that, it did really well. So that's more of a longer term trade for me, NIO, but again, a nice winning trade. Now over to the negatives. Blink charging. Well, I talked about blink charging, and that was in episode 66, one of my most recent videos, and I was talking about getting in here, but I did make it very clear. I drew this, let me clear this up. I drew a trend line on the screen, and you can go back to it. What am I doing? A line, right. I drew a trend line and I said we need to break the trend line, so I did that. And almost by magic, what did it do? All the way down, just kept tapping the trend line. I didn't want it to do that, but that's exactly why I said we should draw a trend line in. Now, I did actually announce a trade on I actually commented on my own video, and I said I was going to get in on this stock, and I did. I got in and bought quite a hefty amount of shares actually around there. So I'm just being honest with you. Now, so even myself, I trade all the time, and I made a mistake there. I didn't wait for my own rules. I broke my own rule. I said in my video to wait for a break of the trend line, and we didn't even get the break. It just carried on tapping against that trend line. Please watch episode 66. I was very explicit about the trend line. And as you can see, it just kept on tapping against it all the way down. Bang, 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 and it's still not breaking that trend line. So I'm glad I was correct about my analysis. But again, I broke my own rule there. And so I am feeling some pain on this trade. But this is where money management comes in, guys. Money management is absolutely critical for your survival. So when I say money management, I mean, I know my risk that even if this stock goes to zero, which is very unlikely but possible, I only lose a very small percentage of my portfolio. So I knew the risk before I got in the trade. I don't really like using stop losses either, and I don't particularly like announcing them on YouTube, because I'm a bit paranoid about the the professional traders, to be honest with you, because I've done this so many times and announced trades, and as soon as I mention a stop loss, it always seems to get the price always seems to make its way to a stop loss. Very strange how that happens. But so yes, I'm feeling some pain, and I'm not worried, because like I said, I use a certain percentage of my portfolio, and if it goes to zero, I would only lose that percentage of my portfolio. So if you're trading and say you've got $1,000 account, now mine's obviously significantly higher than that, but $1,000 account, and you're putting, I don't know, $500 into one trade, so 50%, that's just ridiculous. You're going to lose your shirt off your back. You're never going to survive in trading. Ideally, you shouldn't risk any more than 5%. Ideally. Now sometimes I go up a little bit higher than that, But in general rule of thumb, no more than 5% of my portfolio, and that's pretty high on one trade, to be honest. But I'm a bit more aggressive for my trading. But like I said, I did spell all this out, did draw the trend line in. I said we need to break and we need to see a candle poke its head through a solid candle. It didn't happen. So to be honest with you, if you followed that particular trade, you wouldn't have been in it yet. But I broke my own rule by getting in here. That's just my decision. All I'm trying to do here, guys, is be completely honest with you, show the losing trades and the winning trades. Yeah, so I think I've done that to death now. Upwork and NIO were really good, and so have many of my trades. They've made, if you go back in time, you would have made significant money following my trading ideas. Now, I'm not suggesting you do. This is educational purposes. As a disclaimer, I'm just saying that if you go back, watch the videos, you'll see the majority of my trades have actually been very profitable. But as with all trading, there's no guarantee, so that is why money management is absolutely critical, as I said just now, to your survival. Please try to remember not to go any more than 5% of your portfolio on one trade. So, that's the first negative thing. But just to give some context around why this is happening, look, this is ARK Invest. ARK Invest is Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood's a very, very popular trader. She's an economist, I believe. And she's got all these different ETFs, and this is the most, I think, is the most popular one, ARK Innovation. And this is trading similar stocks to me, very the growth stocks, the high growth stocks, higher risk technology because of innovation. And look, even she and her funds are taking a great big nosedive. So it's not just me who's getting it wrong. That's just part of trading. That's a very, very popular fund, that one. And that's taking a nosedive. So if the entire market's moving in one direction, well, the technology sector, which most of my stocks are at the moment, then unfortunately there's nothing I can do. That's just part of trading. Now let me take you over to some different charts now. Now this is where I get into the meat and potatoes of the video. This is a chart of the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq is the technology indice. Now I've drawn this trend line in here. You see why? Point there, point there, point there. An obvious trend line, and look where price is now. It's just tapping, trying to tap against this trend line. So let me zoom in. So you can really see this. Now I'm just going to get slightly more technical now. And I've mentioned this before in other videos, but for those that haven't watched, this might be new to you. Let me draw in a Fibonacci retracement tool. So this is a very powerful indicator, especially when it's backed up with a trend line. So I'm going to take this indicator, I'm going to take the most recent daily swing bar, so the most recent low, major obvious low, which is that one. I'm going to take it up to the top of the most recent high. And what do you see here? You see this number 61.8. Okay, so I think, it's just my own opinion at this point, price is going to try and test this area at the 61.8% Fibonacci level, because the 61.8 Fibo level is a very powerful level in trading, when you're trading, especially when it's backed up by a trend line. The chances are price should hold there, right at that level. So where is that now on this chart? This is the Nasdaq. So you're talking 14,700 thereabouts on the Nasdaq. So it's really important, guys, to watch the Nasdaq, because especially when you're in growth stocks and technology stocks, because that is showing you what's happening. If that index is dropping, they will all drop, and that is exactly what's happening. Now, most of the time I'm quite good at predicting this before it happens. I did see these two reversal signals, but it's been so strong, this market, that I just didn't want to commit to any short. So let me just get rid of that. So now you can see it's very clear. The market, there's no question in my mind it's going to try and test this trend line. It might poke its head through it, the price. So keep your eye on the Nasdaq. because if price starts breaking through and doesn't hold, that's going to automatically kick in a load of sell orders around all technology stocks. So you can see slowly but surely it's getting closer and closer to this trend line. Keep your eye on the Nasdaq. Even as I'm doing this video, look how more aggressive it's getting, this the selling. Because that, I promise you guys, if price starts breaking that trend line, sell orders will kick in automatically, because professional traders will see this line on their chart. I can guarantee you that. It's psychological. Let me just show you Bitcoin, for example. You see what I did here on Bitcoin. Now, I didn't announce anything about Bitcoin because I knew that if I talked about Bitcoin falling, I would just get people screaming at me and saying I was just abuse, I expect. So I didn't. But this is what I had on Bitcoin. And this is, you can see what happened here. As soon as traders started seeing a breach of the trend line, look what happened. There was a big drop in automatic sell orders, and people start panicking. Then often the market will push price back up to suck people back in. Happens a lot. Often they will try to bring it right back up to the trend line and then pull it away. This one didn't even make its way back up. Let's just see if that Fibonacci even worked in this scenario. So take that swim point there, draw it down. It did as well. You see the power of Fibonacci? So let me try and explain it to you. What I've done there is I've taken the major swing high all the way down to where price found a low point and it started making its way back up. And when it got to this 61.8% Fibonacci level, again, you can see how the professional traders, psychologically, it's a psychological level, the Fibonacci level, they all started to, you see how price started struggling at that level? Now this doesn't always work, I'm just trying to show you some of the more advanced technical analysis. Look how price, I didn't even know about this, look how price struggled with that level, and eventually they give up, sell orders kick in, it just collapses, big style. There's just relentless selling after that, because professional traders know what to look for. I'm trying to give you the heads up on this kind of thing. That's my automatic software, just taking a trade there. So let me go back to the Nasdaq, and even as I've taught, look where we are. I think we're actually hitting that trend line right now. Yep, we are. And look how price is starting to stall. If I show you the 5 minute, it's not very clear because the problem with this MetaTrader software, but you can see what I'm. So let's just watch this live as I do this video, right? So you can see, you should see this price action, live price action, start showing a lot of twitching all over the place, because that'll be buyers and sellers, buyers and sellers. Watch this live. You'll see it starts getting quite aggressive, because professional traders are seeing that trend line, I promise you. And there will be sell orders and obviously buy orders, but watch how aggressive this gets now as I'm doing this video. I'll come back to it in a moment, but I think this is interesting for people watching this video to see live. You can see there's more bears than there are bulls at that point. That's such a key level, that is, on the Nasdaq. So I'll come back to that in a second. And let me look at the other indices. So this is the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones is holding up nicely. I don't see any problem there. So this looks like market rotation again, where traders are moving out of technology again, because the Dow Jones is not following the Nasdaq. Interesting to see. It might do, but at the moment it isn't. Now the S&P 500 is starting to show signs of weakness, but nowhere near as significant as the Nasdaq. So this is the S&P. Let me go back to the Nasdaq. Show you that. You see that 5 minute bar? Look at it. You can see the bears are trying to take this lower. They're trying to break the trend line. You're watching this live. We go back to the daily chart, and we know that that's a 61.8% Fibonacci level and a trend line. So am I really concerned about the markets at this point? No. But I will be concerned, to be honest with you, if we start seeing tomorrow, if we start seeing more red bars. So here's an idea for you. If price doesn't, what might happen? Price might break through a little bit and then start coming back up. If you start seeing price weakening as it's on its way back up, that's a sure sign there could be a nasty sell-off. Because that's professionals pulling back in novice traders. They push it through, pull it back up, get novices back into the market, and then pull it away. So if this is my take on this now. If this decides to break, it's up to you what you do with your stocks, guys. I will stay in my stocks, but if this does tend to break, I think we can expect price on the Nasdaq and technology stocks to drop significantly, and we could see a move all the way down to here. Now that seems like a really far away. That seems really far away now, but when the markets start moving, they start moving. But my current train of thought is this will hopefully hold at this level because it's a very strong trend line. I'm hoping it will stop and then make its way back up. But like I said, if you see a break of it, very obvious break, and then you see price moving back up and then price starts stalling for a few days, that is a very worrying sign that there's a very big sell-off coming. So I will try and capture that before it happens, but I'm just showing you what I'm seeing now. I really hope this is useful for you. So at the moment, I'm not worried, and even so, most of my trades are longer term anyway. So this is a longer video than I not do normally, because I think this is really important information. I've been through a lot. I've explained trend lines, Fibonacci, different markets I don't really talk about. Let me go back to that 5 minutes, show you what you see. Look at this. The bears were trying to take it lower, and immediately the bulls have come straight back in. And like I said, you'll start seeing a lot of volatility there because of that trend line. Okay, there you have it, guys. This is, like I said, in depth. I can't get every trade right, and look at this going crazy as I'm talking. If you like what I'm doing and you're learning, I would appreciate a like, and hopefully you subscribe. Feel free to tell your friends. So at the moment, I'm perfectly happy with what is happening in the market. This was necessary and quite positive actually, because we need to see a pullback because we've had such a strong move up. So yes, hopefully you like what I'm doing, and you'll like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you in another video very soon. Thank you for listening and watching.